Hello and welcome. Come join with me today as we dive into the depths of everyone's favorite goth girl, Shadowheart. Now, in this analysis, we're going to go over a few things. We're going to go over her devotion and faith, her complex morality, her trauma and her fears, as well as her personal growth and her conflicts, behavioral patterns, and maybe we'll go into some romance stuff as well. Shadowheart's dedication to Shar is profound. It's not just a religious affiliation, but a complete lifestyle and identity. Her faith dictates her morals, her decisions, and her interactions. She embodies the principles of secrecy and loss and the rejection of light, which are central to Shar's doctrine. As a cleric of Shar, Shadowheart performs rituals and uses spells that reflect her deity's domain: darkness, illusion, and manipulation. Her abilities in the game, like casting darkness or using Pass Without a Trace, are practical manifestations of her faith. These are not just combat tools, but expressions of her spiritual allegiance. Shar's followers are taught to keep secrets, to shun those who would bring light and reveal truths. Shadowheart internalizes this, often keeping her plans, true intentions, and even her personal history hidden. This secrecy is both a defense mechanism and a religious duty. Her devotion can be isolating, as it puts her at odds with followers of other deities, especially those of Selûne. This isolation is not just social, but also psychological. She's in a constant battle with her own identity, especially once her past begins to unravel. And while serving a goddess associated with darkness, Shadowheart's moral compass is not straightforwardly evil. Her actions can be seen as serving a higher purpose within her faith's framework. She can show kindness, particularly in moments that don't conflict with her deity, revealing a layered moral understanding influenced by her faith, but not wholly dictated by it. Her faith is tested throughout the journey. The discovery of her past, where she was originally a worshipper of Selûne, kidnapped and brainwashed to serve Shar, introduces a profound conflict. This revelation could potentially lead to a crisis of faith, where she must reconcile her indoctrinated beliefs with her true heritage. Shadowheart's faith gives her not only spiritual, but also tangible power. Her clerical abilities are a direct result of her connection with Shar, providing her with both offensive and defensive capabilities in the game's mechanics. Now, her mission to protect and possibly deliver the artifact to her cloister is intertwined with her religious duties. This purpose is crucial for her character, offering a path in a world where her identity has been manipulated and her memories altered. The narrative arc of Shadowheart offers her a chance to either reaffirm her faith or pivot towards a new understanding of herself, possibly embracing aspects of Selûne. This potential for transformation is a testament to how deeply embedded her faith is in her character's development. Shadowheart's devotion to Shar is thus a complex tapestry of duty, identity, secrecy, and conflict, making her one of the most intriguing characters. Her faith is not just a backdrop, but an active participant in her story, influencing her every step and decision, leading to a rich narrative exploration of which it means to be devoted in a world where the lines between light and darkness are not just blurred, but actively contested. Shadowheart's complex morality in Baldur's Gate 3 is a fascinating aspect of her character, offering a nuanced view of what it means to serve a dark deity while still possessing a moral conscience. Now, as a cleric of Shar, a goddess associated with darkness, loss, and pain, traditionally this would suggest a character leaning towards evil, or at least morally ambiguous actions. However, Shadowheart exhibits a morality that doesn't strictly align with what one might expect from a Sharan cleric. She can approve of acts of kindness and disapprove of needless cruelty, showing that her personal code of ethics sometimes conflicts with or transcends her religious obligations. Despite her association with the deity of darkness, Shadowheart has moments of compassion, especially towards animals. This might stem from her suppressed memories of her Selûnite upbringing, where love for all life was taught. Her empathy for animals like squirrels, which she can express fondness for, contrasts sharply with the cold, calculating nature one might expect from a servant of Shar. Shadowheart's approval system in the game reveals much about her moral stance. She values privacy and secrecy, approving of actions that respect these principles. Conversely, she disapproves of prying into her past or the secrets of others, showcasing respect for personal boundaries. Her dislike for unnecessary violence or cruelty further complicates her moral portrayal, suggesting a preference for pragmatism over sadism. Now, there's also a nuanced distinction in how Shadowheart views things like justice or vengeance. While she might partake in acts that could be seen as vengeful, her choices often lean towards what she perceives as justice, especially when it aligns with her mission, or when it's about protecting or avenging those she deems worthy. Now, Shadowheart's journey involves confronting her identity, which is deeply tied to her morality. Her past as a Selûnite, her kidnapping, and the subsequent brainwashing into Shar's service introduce a profound internal conflict. This conflict is not just about faith, but about her moral foundation, forcing her to question if her actions truly reflect her beliefs or are merely the result of manipulation. Throughout the journey, players can influence Shadowheart's moral path. Decisions that align with her showing mercy or kindness might nudge her towards a more compassionate view, while those that lean into her darker side might reinforce her Sharan identity. This potential for moral evolution highlights her complexity, showing she's not static, but capable of change based on experiences and revelations. Shar's philosophy involves embracing loss, secrecy, and the idea that in darkness there is truth. And Shadowheart's actions often reflect this, but her personal morality seems to seek a balance or even a rejection of some aspects of this philosophy, particularly when it comes to unnecessary suffering or the manipulation of others. Her morality stands in contrast to characters like Astarion, who might embrace darker actions for personal gain, or Karlach, who might lean more towards straightforward heroism. This juxtaposition in the party dynamics further highlights her complex moral landscape. In essence, Shadowheart's complex morality is a blend of her indoctrinated duties as a Sharan cleric, her innate or learned compassion, and the personal journey she undergoes. It's a narrative of someone trying to navigate the murky waters of serving a dark deity while holding on to or rediscovering fragments of light within herself. This complexity not only makes her a compelling character, but also provides players with a rich moral landscape to explore through their interactions with her. Now, Shadowheart's life before meeting the player character is shrouded in mystery. Not just to others, but seemingly to herself due to memory manipulation. This personal secrecy isn't just about protecting the interests of Shar, but also about safeguarding her from her own past, which includes being kidnapped from her Selûnite family and indoctrinated into Shar's worship. She also reacts strongly to any attempts to delve into her past or her true intentions. This defensiveness can manifest in disapproval or even hostility in interactions with the player or other party members when they show too much curiosity. Her privacy is not merely a preference, but a necessity for her psychological well-being and the integrity of her mission. Now, Shadowheart is very slow to trust, valuing those who respect her privacy and boundaries. This weariness affects her relationships within the party, where she might keep her distance or share only what she deems necessary. Her trust must be earned, often through actions that show respect for secrecy or through shared experiences that prove loyalty. Even in romantic contexts, her need for privacy is evident. She requires a deep level of trust before opening up, and even then, she might not reveal everything. Her romance path involves navigating this guardedness, respecting her need for privacy while slowly uncovering layers of her personality and past. Her arc in the game involves parts of her past coming to light, challenging her secrecy. The revelation about her true heritage, her connection to the Night Song, and the manipulation of her memories by Shar's followers are pivotal moments that force her to confront her secretive nature. This journey can lead to a transformation where she might choose to embrace more openness, or at least a selective transparency, depending on the player choices, that is. This evolution from secrecy to some form of disclosure or acceptance is central to her character's development. So Shadowheart's secrecy and privacy are thus integral to her character, not just as plot devices, but as reflections of her identity, faith, and psychological impacts of her life's narrative. They serve as both protective armor and a cage, influencing her interactions, decisions, and the path of her story. Now, perhaps the most profound trauma Shadowheart experiences is her abduction from her family at a young age. She was taken by Sharan cultists, her memories manipulated to erase her past life, and indoctrinated into the worship of Shar. This event not only severed her from her family, but also from her original identity, leaving a lasting psychological scar. The manipulation of her memories meant she grew up believing in a life and faith that was not originally hers. This loss of identity is a significant trauma, as it questions everything she knows about herself, her beliefs, and her place in the world. Now, because of this, one of the explicit fears Shadowheart shows is an intense phobia of wolves. This fear isn't just about the animals themselves, but is symbolic of her repressed memories. Her father could transform into a wolf, and this connection ties her fear directly to her lost family and the life she was forcibly separated from. This phobia is a manifestation of her subconscious trying to cope with or reject her past. Deep down, Shadowheart fears the truth about her past, her identity, and what it might mean for her future. The fear of confronting what's been hidden from her is palpable, as it could unravel everything she's known or believed in. This fear is both about self-preservation and the potential collapse of her constructed self. Now, the revelation of her true heritage, especially if it involves confronting her parents or the Night Song, can lead to an identity crisis. She's forced to reconcile her Sharan identity with her Selûnite origins, causing internal conflict about who she truly is. There's also an underlying anxiety about her mission and her place within Shar's worship. This can be seen in moments of paranoia or when she's overly defensive about her secrets, indicating a constant state of alertness or fear of exposure. Now, her devotion to Shar might also serve as a coping mechanism for her trauma, providing structure, purpose, and a way to make sense of her life post-kidnapping. It's a way to anchor herself when her identity is in turmoil. Now, as discussed earlier, her emphasis on secrecy and privacy is also a way to cope with her fears. By controlling what others know about her, she feels she can maintain some semblance of control over her life and protect herself from further pain. Now, the player's choices significantly affect how Shadowheart navigates her growth and conflicts. Through dialogue, quest decisions, and actions, players can guide her towards a path of self-discovery, acceptance, or perhaps deeper into the fold of Shar's influence. The resolution of her internal conflict can lead to different character outcomes. She might fully embrace her Selûnite heritage, continue serving Shar with a new understanding, or find a balance where she acknowledges both parts of her identity. Her journey is as emotional as it is moral or religious. This emotional growth from fear and isolation to potential acceptance or even love is central to her development, making her one of the most dynamic characters in the game. So, Shadowheart's personal growth and conflict are thus central to her narrative, providing players with a character whose development can be profoundly influenced, offering a rich tapestry of decisions, emotions, and transformations throughout the game. So, in conclusion, Shadowheart is a testament to the complexity of character development in video games. She embodies the struggle of self discovery, the conflict between what one is taught to believe versus what one might inherently feel, and the potential for redemption or further entrenchment in one's path. Her story is not just about completing a mission for her goddess, but about navigating the intricate maze of her own soul, challenging players to consider the depths of identity, faith, and morality. Now, because of this, Shadowheart emerges as a character of profound depth, her psychological profile intricately woven from threads of trauma, faith, secrecy, and personal growth. Her devotion to Shara isn't merely a backdrop, but a central pillar of her identity, influencing her every decision, moral stance, and interaction. Yet, this devotion is complicated by her complex morality, which shows her capable of empathy and compassion, even as she serves the deity of darkness. This duality speaks to a character who is not easily pigeonholed into traditional roles of good or evil, but instead navigates a moral spectrum shaped by her experiences and the choices of those around her. But anyway, let me know what you think. What is your preferred path for Shadowheart to take? And thank you for watching. Until next time.